Yo, yo, what's up, guys? Good morning. All right, let's look at what's moving today, and then I'll try to get the face cam up somewhat soon. Let's see what's moving first, though. All right, so CEI is looking interesting here. It looks like some type of reverse split, though. SOLO gapping up some ALT, ADMP. ALT looks good if you're trading penny stocks. ALT. ADMP looks all right as well. AAOI. So a lot of these are, they're gapping up, but the volume is just low. SPY's gapping down some. And so RDFN, Redfin, maybe. IPHI. LITE maybe. But yeah, honestly, today looks really, really slow. SGMO, I'll probably keep an eye on from yesterday. But yeah, today's looking pretty slow right now, at least. We'll see if we get some movement here. Gonna watch AMD. I'll probably watch SYMC again. Although it's, let's see, 25. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to that previous closing price from yesterday, though. Yeah, let me know if you guys see anything else that looks good. Like I said, gappers specifically looking a little dull right now. Not really seeing much. I really like SQ, maybe SQ. Roku doesn't look bad. I might watch Roku. I might watch Tesla again too, but just depends on what it does today. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, guys, it's just pretty dull. Just pretty dull. So we'll see what we get, but I might as well post this little watch list. See what else pops up. Yes, Danny. Trade Ideas is what I'm actually using. And I'll post that link if anybody wants to check out Trade Ideas. Best scanners in the game by far. Still got to make that video on how to customize these scanners. But it's actually pretty easy, and I should have that video out in the next day or two. But yeah, like I said, best scanners in the game by far. Go check them out. There's the link if you want to check them out. And so let me post my watch list so far here. Like I said, very dull day. Very kind of slow, dull day, honestly. That's all I'm watching right now. What is today? Today is Tuesday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get, but Yeah, just a slow day so far. We'll see if anything else heats up right now. I'll be back in a few minutes. But yeah, very dull day, low voluminous day. If you look at the SPY here, and I can pull the SPY up really quick just to show you, and maybe show you these. But you can see ALT looks okay. ALT gapping up some. I'll have to look up the news once I get back. For ALT, but yeah, gap up from 250 to 280 roughly. Went as high as 330s, but filled most of the gap back down already. We also have AMD, which is gapping down slightly, and then if you look at the overall market, it is down as well, down to 295.70. So you know, just a dull day. Yesterday was really choppy for the market, and so we'll see what we get. Like I said, volume's definitely looking a little bit lower today, but it could always increase. We'll see if any sectors start to pop off and stuff. All right, guys. So let's see what we have today. Somebody in the chat mentioning EROS, EROS. But yeah, so far pretty dull. Let's see if anything popped off since I last walked away. NPTN. I don't know if this is the one that's tradable. I think it was KPTI actually. Yeah, that one's steady dropping. ALT, AAOI. But yeah, honestly, guys, very dull day. Just very dull day. Midsummer day. Just a very slow, boring day. We'll see what else pops off here. FNSR, IPHI, VIAV, TKC. But yeah, AMD is one of the volume leaders. Okay, so one I'm definitely going to keep an eye on. Is SOLY. Look at SOLY here. This one actually looks really good. I just now saw this one. Went as high as 1950 or so. Down at 1725 now. I think a really interesting level for this SOLY is this level right here at 1665, 1650. Right here. I think that's a pretty big level. And this is also a former runner. This one also went parabolic before. As you could see in May, this thing went crazy. And so went up to 29, so it's at 1850 now. It started yesterday off at about $12, so a huge run for that one. So I'm definitely going to add that one to my list today. SOLY. Let's see what else we got here. So yeah, main watches: SOLY, AMD, SQ, ALT, SYMC, and Roku are my main watches today. They're actually moving at the least. We'll see if we get anything else, but yeah, the market's pretty dull right now. Not at least penny stock wise, nothing really is moving. But yeah, SOLY looks good. Let's see if we can find anything else here. And like I said, let me know if you guys see anything else. ANGI maybe. OGI maybe. OGI. I don't know if that one's going to be tradable. But if you look here and see OGI, looks good. Gapping up some. And so we'll see what else we can find. Be back in about 5 minutes. Alright. But yeah, SOLI. Yeah, I've seen IPOA. I don't know how much I really like IPOA. Let me see. I'll take a look at it really quick. IPOA. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just essentially it's filled the gap already. I think the big level now for IPOA is 1050. You know, it's right. 1050 is right around that previous day's close, and you know, it does have some support above that. So I think that's the big level, 1050, 1060 or so. We'll see, but right around 1050 is where I would watch it. So yeah, Roku, OGI. We'll see how many of these are actually tradable or not, but. There we go. Yeah, the 1050 doesn't look bad right there. All right, guys. Well, it's almost 1050. Almost 1050. We'll see what we get today. I'm going to go make myself a coffee, and then I'll be back. And I'll be back ready in about, I don't know, 2 minutes, depending on how long my coffee takes. So All right, guys. What's up, guys? All right, so I have my coffee this morning a little bit earlier. Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty slow day right now. SOLY is probably my biggest watch. Is probably although it's gapping down, it probably has the most potential to possibly run or to even wash out. We'll see which way that one heads, but I'm definitely looking at that one at this point. We'll see what else we can get today. Like I said, it's kind of a dull day. There's not a ton of action right now in the market, but we can still watch it and kind of see what goes down here. So, yeah, so OGI is not looking that bad either. It's right around the previous day's closing price. OGI, but yeah, solely SOLY gapping down from 18.50 to 17.20, so $1.30. But again, I mean, this one yesterday went up from about $12 all the way to roughly 20, 19.50 to be specific. And so that one doesn't look bad. And so we have SOLY, OGI, SYMC just because it moved yesterday, AMD, although it is gapping down some. And so we'll see what else we can get today. But yeah, volume's a little bit low for some of these movers. All right. There we go. All right, so yeah, you can see solely here. Here, let me shrink myself a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. You can see solely here gapping down to 17.15. I'll keep an eye on that one as well. Whew, it's a little early. All right, but yeah, I'm looking at the scanners. I mean, you can see ICIA. You can see ICIA and some of these other ones. ICIA looks like an acquisition of some sort. Is what I'm assuming for ICIA. Looks like an acquisition of some sort. We'll have to look up the news. I guess we can go ahead and break that down right now. So let's first look at solely SOLY here for solely, and we'll see, why we're getting these big moves for solely here, if it shows anything. All right, so basically SOLY will announce the cellulite trial data for the 26-week period on July 15th, 2019. So I don't know if that's it. This seems an awful lot like a pump. This like SOLY is getting pumped up. I think it'll eventually come back down. But who knows how far this thing's going to go up before then. Let's see. Yeah, so it just says solely up 15% ahead of data on cellulite clinical trial. Yeah, I mean, really it's up, what, 100% from, not 100, maybe like 70, 80%. But crazy move there. Yeah, this was at 9:09 a.m. So yeah, we'll see what we get today. But it looks all right. So we could also look at OGI here, OGI. All right, so OGI apparently is another cannabis stock. The shares are up after the company announced it's developed a proprietary nano emulsification technology that will allow for the production of both liquid and powdered cannabinoid products. Honestly, I have no idea what that means, but it sounds good. Whatever reason, it's gapping up. I mean, it's only up from 708 to 720 at this point. Its highs of pre-market are 770, and so that looks all right as well. We'll see where that one goes. What else do we have today, guys? Let's see. Yeah, so they basically announced the expanded development of a rapid onset nano emulsification tech for cannabis beverages. Like I said, I have no idea what that means, but sounds good. We also have ACIA here. ACIA, like I said, I'm pretty sure this one is just a acquisition of some sort. You can see it's gapping up from 48.06 to 65.65. But whenever you see a really narrow range like this, it's almost always an acquisition or a buyout. And so we could look this one up as well for ICIA. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just a acquisition / buyout of a company, but we'll see what we get with it. Yeah, Cisco Systems is going to acquire them. So Cisco is going to buy ACIA for $2.6 billion. For $2.6 billion. So that's pretty good for ACIA. Really nice buy there, up to 65.70. We'll see if it can actually hold those gains. It may not. We'll see where that one goes. We had a few people talking about IPOA here. IPOA. Whew, it is cold in my house right now. Yeah, we had a few people talk about IPOA. IPOA, let's see what we find with this one as well. All right, so let's look over the overall market really quick. We can look at the overall market really quick here and just try to review what we're seeing going on with the overall market. First, so U.S. stock futures pointed south, and this is a quote from MT Newswires. U.S. stock futures pointed south ahead of Tuesday's opening bell, extending a downbeat start to the week as investors awaited comments from the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Dow futures were down 0.36%, S&P futures were down 0.34%, NASDAQ declined 0.36%. Oil prices nudged higher with global benchmark Brent crude up 0.53% and U.S. West Texas Intermediate up 0.47% amid escalating tensions in the Middle East after Iran threatened to step up its nuclear program. And so, yeah, stocks are basically down today, at least from what I'm seeing. The market's down some today. And if you look at the SPY here, which is this bottom chart, you can see it had basically a break-even day yesterday, just a very tight range in the SPY yesterday. Just a really hard day to trade, in all honesty. Like I said, it's summer trading right now, guys, and so one of the better things that I think traders can do during the summer is just to take their foot off the gas a little bit. I think we get a much more choppy market, and one of the ways you can tell is if you look at the VWAP on an intraday chart for many of these stocks. When you see a stock, like if you look at the SPY here, when you see a cross over and under, a conversion over and under the VWAP over and over and over again, that typically means it's in a neutral, choppy trend. Like you can see what the SPY did yesterday. It just kind of stayed choppy over and under the VWAP, and that signifies a neutral or choppy, trend. But if you look at, let's see if we could find one. So if you look at on the 3rd of July, you can see it stayed above the VWAP almost all day, maintaining an upward trend. And so, days like yesterday, very choppy days in the market, and I think they're just really difficult to trade. I think I got lucky with, ending yesterday green and having a few good trades, but just a very tough market to trade in general. So how's everybody doing today? Let's see what we get. Like I said, kind of low volume. I'm not seeing too much pop off here. What's up, John? What's up, man? So yeah, we'll see what we get. Drink my coffee here. Like I said, a little bit of a dull day. Not much really popping off right now. Whew, this coffee's good though. So I'm gonna keep an eye on AMD, even though AMD's down. I'm still gonna keep an eye on it, see what we can get. I'll probably watch ACIA as well here. We'll see. Pepsi had a earnings beat. All right, let me see. What's the symbol for Pepsi? What's the symbol? Yeah, let me know the symbol. PEP. I don't know. Yeah, PepsiCo. There it is. It's PEP. Man, I'm getting good at guessing these symbols, man. I guess when you look at them after a while, you can kind of guess what the company's going for. Yep. I swear I guessed that straight, man. I didn't look it up, and I really didn't know what Pepsi was. I don't think I've ever looked at the Pepsi stock. I've looked at Coca-Cola before, but never Pepsi. Yeah, Pepsi's up from 132 to 133. Small range for a big price stock like Pepsi, though. But yeah, I'll probably watch Roku as well. Like I said, though, it's kind of a little bit of a dull day today, guys. So just be careful. It's a Tuesday. It's the middle of the week and the heat of summer in the middle of July. So just be careful, guys. Don't get caught in the chop. All right. Yeah, let me know if you guys see anything else as well. Again, I mean, I think the market's a little bit dull right now. I think it's a little bit more choppy, and I think you kind of have to be a little bit more careful in this type of market with this low of volume. So just be on the lookout. Not seeing too many penny stocks pop off. What was the one penny stock I saw? We also have CEI, which I'm almost certain it's a reverse split of some sort. We got Solo. Solo isn't looking as bad right now. It's still not looking great, but it's not looking that bad. ADMP, it's kind of the same thing here. OASM, all of this is just really low volume moves. Like I said, AGI, TTNP just was gapping up nicely for Titan, but now it's back down to 130s. What's up, Junior? What's up, man? Do you follow BYND? If so, would you short it? I've watched BYND before a lot. I've traded it some. I remember trading this one a lot during the competition. For me specifically, I didn't have that good of results trading it, and so it doesn't really seem to follow my patterns as well as some of the other ones I watch. But it's very volatile, has a huge range, and so I'm not saying you can't make money for it. I'm sure there's a lot of different strategies you probably could, but at least, specifically for the strategies I use, it's just not as effective as a stock as some of the other ones I watch. I'm looking at the chart now for it. Some fades, but most of the time when it fades, it fakes people out. Like if I pull up this chart here, and you can see it, most of the time, like you can see here, most of the time when it fades, it fakes people out. And so here's an example, fake out, fake VWAP bounce here. It faked out a VWAP bounce. Here's one, that fade would have worked. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the accuracy rate. And here's a fake VWAP bounce. So it seems to fake me out a little bit too much for me to. It has a big range, and so I think I'm sure there's some strategies that work for it, but just with like I said, specifically VWAP bounces and VWAP fades, it just doesn't work as well, it seems. So. Yeah, I'm definitely watching SOLY today for sure, 100%. I'm definitely watching SOLY. SOLY is probably the best looking stock in the market right now. It's probably the best looking stock, at least in my opinion. It's probably the best looking stock in the market right now. We'll see though. Either way, I could see it spike up, and the daily chart actually looks a little bullish, but the intraday chart looks weak, and so it's it'll be fun to see what happens with that one for sure. It'll be fun to see how that one follows through. So yeah, let me drag some of this here. So yeah, it'll be fun to see how well that one works. How do you not get faked out? I mean, there's a few ways to avoid getting faked out. Probably the best way would just be to wait for confirmation. If you wait for confirmation, your chances of not getting faked out are much better. The the other way not to get faked out is just to pick the right stocks. If you pick the right stocks, you'll get faked out much less. Like I said, BYND, good example of a stock that I just don't trade anymore because it faked me out a ton. And I'm not trying to keep getting faked out, you know. But, I mean, you're going to get faked out regardless, no matter what you do. It's just your goal is to get faked out less often. You know, so that's the goal, is just to get faked out less often. All right, guys, we got 11 minutes. I think Mitch had to work overnight last night. I'll see if I don't know if he's going to be on the stream or not. He might not. But yeah, we'll see what we get, guys. Get my glasses on here. All right, so yeah, we'll see what we get today. Like I said, Dish, Snap, maybe. I'm looking at Snap right now. But like I said, my main watches are, I mean, Snap's not really looking that bad anymore. Dish, low volume. I don't mind Pep either. But, what was that other one I was watching? Was it OPG? No. It was OGI. Let's see how many of these are actually tradable right now. That's the big thing, is how many of these am I actually going to be able to trade? Alright, so OGI is not tradable. Solely, I can short Solely. So Solely is tradable and shortable. I know a lot of people said it was hard to borrow on other brokers. And again, I mean, people hate on CFDs, but this is one of the big benefits of CFDs is, you know, I can actually short Solely. I can trade short Solely. And so Solely's tradable. Definitely going to be watching that one. Could trade SYMC, Roku, SQ, so Pepsi. I may watch ACIA as well. ACIA doesn't look that bad. CEI, no. ALT, no. ANGI is tradable. Same thing with AAOI. So we got some options. Might watch AOI. Yeah, ACIA, Pepsi. But main watch is definitely SOLY. I think it just looks like it has the most potential to do something today. So main watch is definitely SOLY. Let me catch back up on the chat. So, is there a platform for small account day trading with zero commissions, low commissions? Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you would define as a small account day trading platform. You know, there's Webull, there's Robinhood. You can trade on both of those with zero commissions, but you know, you do have to follow the PDT rule, so you're going to have to follow the PDT rule. With regard to if there's a platform that doesn't make you follow the PDT rule with zero commissions, I don't think there is. I think all of the platforms and brokers that get around the PDT rule are not zero commissions. The best ones, I think, for cheap commissions that, you know, that make it so you can actively day trade are U-Stock Trade with $1 commissions, U-Stock Trade. Then there's TEFs and TradeNet, which, you know, if you trade small, like if I buy 100, 200 shares, 300 shares on TEFs and TradeNet, my commission is like $3 or $4, which is pretty cheap. And U-Stock Trade, it's $1 commission, so it's $1 per trade. Yeah, Trade Zero. I've heard of Trade Zero. Never used them, but I've heard of them. But yeah, so So yeah, let's see what we get today. Low volume. I'm gonna try to take it slow. Not gonna try to go crazy with the overall market. All right. See if we found any new movers here. But yeah, SOLY, if you look at this top chart here, again, I think one of the bigger levels is 1650 for SOLY, 1650, maybe 15. And obviously these whole dollars up here, like 18, looks really interesting as well. The previous day's close might come into play too. Let's look at that one. So the previous day's close for SOLY is 1842, so it is basically right there. And so that might come into play here for SOLY, that previous closing price. And so yeah, these are the levels I'm specifically watching for SOLY. We'll see, we'll see if we get some action. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on AMD as well. AMD, let me get off this 5-minute chart. There we go. AMD, ANGI, FNSR maybe. Maybe keep an eye on Tesla again, Tesla short worked yesterday. Wait, let me see. What did Tesla end up doing after that short? So it flushed down, but it bounced, so the exit was nice. And it was a really nice fade for Tesla, but it eventually rebounded there. Overstock.com, OSTK, is looking really good here as well. I'll definitely watch Overstock now. So I did notice Overstock. So yeah, these probably are some of my bigger watches today. SOLY, OSTK, ACIA, ACIA. We also have AMD, Roku, SYMC, SQ. SQ's gapping up some. So we got some, but so my main watches, let's go ahead and add these. So I'll try to include these on the chat as well. Yeah. All right, guys, we got a little bit over 10 minutes. A little bit over 10 minutes until the bell. What's everybody else's main watch today? What's everybody else keeping an eye on? ITCI. Yeah, ITCI didn't look bad. I just don't know if I can trade this one. I liked the fades yesterday. It actually faded a bunch yesterday. Big gap down too, so it looked really weak yesterday. But it essentially rebounded some. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's at 1160. It's got a big range, and so it looks interesting. Let's see if I can actually trade it or not. Kind of doubtful because, well, maybe not. Yeah, I can trade it. A TCI is tradable for me, so that doesn't look bad. AMD, GE, NIO. Yeah, I don't mind those either. I like AMD. I haven't looked at NIO or GE. NIO just has a really small range, and it's just really tough to trade, I think. I used to have mixed results with it, but I think you just got to take big sizing with it, and a lot of times it's really choppy. But the days that NIO can actually pick a range and stay in a trend, when they can actually pick a trend and stay in it, then it's actually a lot better to trade. But, for instance, days like the 5th, right here where it's just super choppy. I mean, that fade didn't actually look that bad, but it's a 15-cent fade. Just a tight range for NIO. GE, it's been a while since I've looked at GE. Yeah, just big floats on these, big floats in tight ranges. But sometimes those move a little bit more reliably as well, and so I can't hate on anybody trading those either. Tiva, one of Mitch's favorites, look good. Oh yeah, Snapchat didn't look that bad. Snapchat's gapping up, small range for it as well. Yeah, ITCI is looking interesting here. It's up to 1160. Gonna watch SGMO as well. Even though we traded that one yesterday, I'll probably watch SGMO as well. So yeah, I got a few options today. All right, guys, we got about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Yeah, maybe one day I'll check out Trade Zero. I do want to trade some penny stocks. Hey, appreciate the sub, Zag. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the subscribe, bro. Yeah, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Mitch and I do this live. We day trade live on stream every weekday. And so, we put our scanners up like everybody else is doing. But, and go check out Trade Ideas, best scanners in the game by far. There's a reason everybody else uses Trade Ideas is because they're the best scanners in the game. But we also day trade live and show our trades live and show our P&L live and show our profit and loss and show our account balances live. And so I think... like I said, I honestly think we're the only people doing it like that. I think everybody else, some other people are doing it, but they're hiding, most of their results. All right, so hey, appreciate the sub, Izzy. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right. All right, guys, we got about 5.5 minutes left. About 5.5 minutes left. Let's do this. What's up, Icy Ice? Hey, man, hit that subscribe button, brother. We do this live every day. Like I said, we trade live every day. And so, yeah, we got about 5 minutes. I'll go ahead and get all this stuff ready. So we can, like I said, kind of get the scanners ready and everything like that. Yeah, man, and like I said, my best advice for most new traders is just to demand transparency is my best advice for it, I think a lot of times traders will kind of jump on the bandwagon for certain, gurus or YouTubers, and a lot of times they're just not transparent. And I think that's one of the biggest thing that new traders actually need to see. Because here's the thing, like Mitch and I don't actually claim to be profitable. We just let people watch us trade live to see what it's really like. There's so many people out there in YouTube and just in the trading world in general that just hide everything. And they do it for a reason. And so there's no reason to hide your account balance. There's no reason to. There's no reason to hide your P&L. You know what I mean? If somebody doesn't show you that stuff, then they're doing that for a reason, and just think about it, just honestly think about it. And I'm not saying everybody is like that, but I think the trading world is filled with that, and that's why Mitch and I just try to be a little bit different. And I think that's one of the reasons we get a lot of hate as well. because we're calling out that nonsense too. But yeah, OSTK. My main watches for the day are AMD, as always, OSTK, SOLY, CGC, YUMC looks okay. I might keep an eye on that one on the daily chart. SQ, Roku, SGMO, CGC. That's kind of what I'm watching at this point. What's up, OPP? What's up, brother? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right move. Paper trading for a year before going live. I think that's the right move. I think that's one of the hardest things to do when trading because, you know, everybody kind of remembers how it was when they first got started. You know, you want to jump in and trade live as soon as possible. I know I did. You know, I know if I'm being honest, the way I got started is I started watching, you know, Tim Sykes, Warrior Trading, Investors Underground. I started watching those guys. And, you know, you see trading and it looks so exciting and fun. And so you want to start live trading as soon as possible. But it just, it's not the right move to just jump in like that. You want to take your time and be very, very patient with when you're actually going to start trading with live money. Because, you can lose money quick, and your mentality changes quick once you take some losses. Right, 100% Junior. I like that advice, man. Get a dog. Yeah, 100%, man. My advice, we have a video about it. My advice is just to find something you enjoy, like you legitimately enjoy doing. Find something you legitimately enjoy doing. You know, when you have a losing day, just go do that. Whether it be play video games, watch a movie you like, go exercise. I go to the gym. If I have a bad day, I go to the gym, try to just de-stress myself. And so find something you enjoy doing. When you have a few losing trades, just go do that. And then by the time you're done doing that, you'll be in a much better mood. You'll be less likely to revenge trade and force trades, and you'll overall just be in a better mood and have a better mindset. Yeah, for sure. How is Investors Underground? Investors Underground is legit, 100%. They're definitely legit. Really good content. Really good content. All right, guys. We got 40 seconds. Let's do this. 40 seconds. Let's do it. All right, like I said, I'm watching specifically SOLY, OSTK, AMD. Here we go. Let's do it. Here's the bell in 15 seconds. Five seconds, guys. Good luck. All right, there's the bell. All right, so we got a little bit of a drop in SOLY. Sorry if I got a little nose cammy with the cam here. All right, so we get a little bit of a drop in SOLY. OSTK is dropping. AMD, a little bit of a tighter range. We got a spike on SYMC here. A spike on SYMC. We got CGC dropping. We got SQ spiking up. SQ spiking up. SQ spiking up. Look at SQ start to run here, guys. So SQ is making a run on the scanners. We got CEI moving. CEI spiking up some after, like I said, it looks like a reverse split. AMD spiking up some. And so maybe we'll get some VWAP bounces today. The market dropped a ton, and so we'll see what we get. Like I said, SQ spiking up. AMD spiking up. Roku's down a little bit, but looks like it may rebound here. We got Soli, which is trying to find some legs. YUMC looks okay. Snap spiking up. It's up to 1550 for Snap. Snap's moving some here. Yeah, no worries, John. No worries, bro. Yeah, I try to be honest how I really feel. I've actually seen some of the classes with a lot of the different gurus and stuff like that. And so, to be honest, I kind of know which ones are real and which ones are just fluff. All right, for Cron, we might get a little VWAP bounce here for CRON. I want to see some better volume, and I don't want to see the spread too bad here. AMD looking really strong here. Yeah, we get a pullback to the VWAP. I might consider AMD with the risk level of 3180 maybe. Maybe 78, 77 for like a 6-cent risk might be a little bit better there. Or I could also use 76, but I like 78 here for a risk in AMD. We got a big drop in Soli. The only problem with a fade, specifically with Soli, and there goes Cron pulling back to the VWAP here. The only problem is the spread is 3 cents, which is just too much. Now it's 4 or 5 cents, so it's just too big of a spread here. All right, so AMD is what I'm really looking at here for a VWAP bounce. If AMD can, like I said, specifically pull back to this level here, or at least close to that, I can start scaling into it. We also have SQ with another possible VWAP bounce. We have CGC here as well. I'm kind of liking CGC for a fade here. A little bit better than Cron because the spread's a little bit better. But we'll see. All right, so yeah, I'm looking for AMD to pull back to this 86 level. I can use a risk level of 78. And so my risk is only about 8 cents. We need the pullback, though. It's looking really strong at this point. Actually, the spread's not better in CGC now that I look at it. I try to be patient and wait for AMD. OSTK pulling a possible red to green move here. All right, there's maybe a 1 minute pullback for AMD, especially if it rips here. We'll see. Alright, so here's a little bit of a pullback. If it can get back to 90, I'll add some more to it for AMD, or I'll add to it here. It's down to 93s. I'm going to add 100 here and try to scale into this one slowly as it drops. That way I'm holding a little bit if it does spike. But if it drops like I really want it to, then I at least have a few shares. Or because if it spikes like I want it to, at least have a few shares. So there's 90, 89s. Let me go ahead and add 100 to this one now. All right, so now I'm in with 200 shares of AMD, 200 shares. See if we get a little bit of a rip here. Look at Overstock start to rip here. Look at that red to green move on Overstock, just a huge move there. All right, we're down to 92s, 91s for AMD. Only in with 200 shares at this point, but we'll see. We'll give it some time. I mean, the risk reward is pretty solid here, especially if I can use like this 82 level as my risk. Maybe 80 as my risk realistically. What was that noise? I hate it when my computer does that because I don't know what makes it do that. There's 86. One more ad here. And then at 88, so I'm 300 shares now. That's my last ad. I'm not going to add any more. And I'll just try to let it get down to 80 and test 80. Small position relative to the range of the stock so far, so we'll see. There's 89s, 90s. There we go. There's a little bit of a bounce. 93s, 90s. All right, so the goal here for AMD is up to 32. I could take some profits here. Let's see. I can probably take 125 off. There's 32. All right. Oh, no, I added to it. Not the right move. All right, so I took half off there. Man, I'm still holding 225 shares. Yeah, that's what happens when you short way more than you go long. There's 03s, 04s, beautiful. All right, I took off another 75. I'm only holding 150 shares of this one at this point. And now I'm just going to give it some time to rip here. See if we get a nice spike up here. There's 08s. All right, I got out of the last little bit here. That's exactly what I wanted to see with AMD. Just a really quick trade, $44 gain. At the very least, I'll have a really nice cushion on the day. Oh, I forgot to record this one, guys. Sorry about that. I'll try to upload that one later. But that's the spike I'm essentially looking for. Maybe I got out of a little bit early, but made a little bit of an error there. But $44 gain, quick trade on AMD. Beautiful VWAP bounce with a tight risk reward, and that's basically what I'm looking for with that one. So yeah, I'll take it for sure. Not a bad little VWAP bounce move there. And again, I mean, this is a good lesson in extension levels and trading. So basically, look at CGC. CGC is right at the VWAP. Not a bad spread either. The spread's like 3 or 4 cents. It's a little bit too late now. Look at CGC fading already. SQ is just ripping up here as well. SQ had a really nice 1 minute pullback. Look at that fade on CGC. Just was a little bit late to the party with that one, man. But that's what I was looking for. You heard me call it out right before this happened. Now it's fading right after I say that. So just a little bit too late. But that was the fade I was essentially looking for with CGC. At least it worked. Hopefully somebody could take advantage of that one. Oh, sorry guys, here, let me get this out the way. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, AMD pulling back. I don't really like this one for an ad. I don't really like this one back down at the VWAP. The reason is because it's too parallel with the previous fade or the previous bounce. And so the VWAP is now a little bit too parallel. If the VWAP had moved up to like 32 or so, I would have liked it a lot more, but since the VWAP it's not completely parallel, but it's just a little bit higher. It's not a larger amount higher than the previous fade. And so basically meaning this big drop is going to show some weakness, and I just don't like it as much. I'm not saying it won't bounce because it very easily could. I'm just saying the probabilities aren't as good in my favor for AMD bouncing right here, just because it's too parallel, if that makes sense. Yeah, now it's definitely too parallel for my liking with AMD. Nice, Netron. Hey, congrats, brother. $140 gain. Nice work, bro. All right, we'll see what else we can get. Yeah, there's the fade for CGC. Called that one out, and it's unfortunate I missed it, but HTZ. Yeah, I mean, there's the bounce on AMD, so maybe we'll get another bounce. But again, I think it's too parallel for just for my style. HTZ. Yeah, HTZ honestly kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle to a certain extent. It's not really my style, but it kind of looks like a symmetrical triangle somewhat. One I don't mind for a bounce play is SQ. If SQ can get down to 73 or 75.40, it doesn't look bad for a bounce. And I mean, there goes AMD's bouncing here. And like I said, it very easily could. It's just the probabilities are a little bit less in my favor with the second bounce here. I like the first bounce. The second one, a little bit more of a coin flip, I think. All right, guys. So yeah, at the very least, I'll have a little bit of cushion. What I typically like to do in days like today, Nice, uncle. Nice work, bro. But yeah, what I typically like to do on days like today is if I get into a decent trade for my first one, I'll kind of try to take smaller sizing on my second one, just because I'm not trying to eliminate my full loss. I have some cushion. Happy with the first gain. Yeah, there goes CGC. Called this one out on the nose here, guys, and just was a little bit late for it. A little bit late, but look at that fade there on CGC. Beautiful fade. Look at that move down to 38.70. So barely missed it, but not going to dwell on it. I'm still happy with today so far. So we can see on the scanners, yeah, CEI. CEI, big spike for CEI. What did Soli end up doing here? I forgot about Soli and Overstock. So Soli actually faded twice already. So Soli faded twice. And again, I mean, I think today's a good example. I'm assuming the SPY is up. Let me see. Yeah, so today's actually a good example of short-term extension in trading, right? And not even necessarily short-term extension, just the psychology of traders, right? So you get a decent gap down in the market overnight. You get a decent drop in the market. The market dropped. Most mid and high cap stocks dropped along with the overall market, and so short term, when the market opens up this morning, short term we get a really nice spike up. We get a really nice bounce. Thus is why I took a VWAP bounce long trade, is because the overall market dropped, and at least in most traders' minds, the market is going to have a short-term recovery, at least short-term. It may turn around and break lows of the day later on, but at least short-term, at least at first, at the open specifically, it's going to bounce a little bit and recover a little bit. And that's exactly what we get. That happens, honestly, it happens a ton. Almost every single time you get a significant gap down, the SPY subsequently bounces the next morning. Again, not always. Nothing is 100% in trading and in the market, but it's a pretty good probability in your favor for that one, I think. And again, that's when I attack long trades because it just makes the most sense. So I hope everybody can kind of understand that short-term kind of psychology and extension. And if you look at the SPY here, at least so far, that's kind of what we got. We get a short-term subsequent bounce after a gap down, and now we're pulling back to the VWAP. And again, like I said with AMD, I didn't like the second bounce as much. It could still bounce back up here, don't get me wrong, but I didn't like it as much. Too parallel. So Roku could fade if it pulls back to 102.55. Roku could fade. SQ could also bounce here. I think a lot of it depends on what the overall market is going to do today. But SQ could bounce here. Let me fix this so I'm on the other side here. I could even, yeah, there we go. All right, maybe a little bit of a VWAP rejection here. It might be a little bit too late for AMD, but maybe a little bit of a rejection here at 92. Flush maybe down to 80. And then we'll see. I think, again, I think a lot of it depends on what the SPY does here. If the SPY ends up bouncing back like it's doing, then I think AMD is going to come back as well. But not a bad risk-reward trade. You could use like 94, maybe 95 is your risk here. And then just maintain that risk. Maybe let it test, but we'll see. Here's 95s. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It might test it, but one of the reasons I don't like rejections as much, they're a little bit less reliable. SPY's bouncing really nicely as well. So the SPY's actually looking really strong. Coming up to 296. But the SPY's looking really strong with a bounce here. Like I said, SQ for a bounce play didn't look terrible there. Nice, broke boy. Nice work, brother. NIO about to pop. Let's see. All right, so yeah, there's a pullback on the SPY. Big pullback, too. And like I said, that 95 level, you could let it test. It got up to like 96, 97, so maybe I would have gotten stopped out there. But you could let that 95 level test and see if it holds. But look at this pullback in the SPY. So if the SPY breaks this 295.80 level, it's going to start to get really weak. Yeah, if the SPY starts to break there, it's going to start to get really weak. So I think that's the big level to watch. Yeah, there goes AMD. So maybe the rejection would have failed. I'm a little bit more strict with them, though, than that. So that's the reason I didn't take that one. SQ bouncing really nicely. So look at SQ. What did Overstock end up doing? Solely. I know I was watching Solely. Solely looks like it might pull a red to green move here, guys. And so be on the lookout for Solely actually breaking this high. Typically, I don't trade red to green moves on stocks over $10, but this is a previous parabolic mover, and it's also a previous, it's a previous runner, it's a previous parabolic mover, and it has a lot of eyes on it. A huge move yesterday, and so I know two-way loves these type of moves. So yeah, be on the lookout for that 1725 break, and we'll see. If not, it could fade right here. It does kind of look like a fade as well. But if it starts to get up here over 17, I'd definitely keep an eye on it because the volume could come in. We just need to see more volume with that move. AMD did bounce here. Just kind of faked people out, I bet. Like I'm sure a lot of people set this level here as your risk on AMD. I know I would have. And just kind of faked people out, it seems. Get all those drawings out the way. Roku could fade here as well. And while we got a moment here, if anybody wants to use the same platform and broker that Mitch and I use on a daily basis, go check out TradeNet. Honestly, like I said, TradeNet gets a lot of hate. But one of the ways that I can trade small, I can buy 100 or 200 shares. One of the ways I can scale into my trades like I do is because the commissions on TradeNet and TAFs are less than $4 or $5 a share if I take 200 shares or less. Or less than $4 or $5 for a round trip if I take less than 300 shares. And so they're like okay, look, here's the squeeze we get up on Solely. I called this one out, guys. This is the squeeze I was specifically looking for. And again, I think a lot of eyes are coming in this thing. You also get a big volume spike here. These fake people out a ton, but scalping these moves is very, very common. And look, here's the squeeze on SOLY. I called this one out. We'll see what happens with it. I think it has to break 1750. And if it can't break 1750, it might just get rejected and come back down to the low of the range. But if it can break 1750 and then, maybe hold that level as resistance or hold that level as support, then it can get really strong here and it can really start to run. Like I said, this is a previous parabolic mover and, the spread is already getting out there, which means a lot of people are watching this thing. The volume came in. So yeah, SOLY really starting to move here. And again, I know for a lot of people, SOLY was hard to borrow this morning. There's the $0.50 break. Let's see if it holds that area as support or if it just doesn't look back. But yeah, SOLY was hard to borrow this morning. And like I said, that's one of the other benefits of using TEFs and TradeNet is that commissions are cheap, but I can also short a lot of these hard to borrow stocks that nobody else can. I can SOLY being one of them. SOLY is tradable and shortable for me. So it makes sense. And like I said, with the intro package on TradeNet, you get 14,000 in buying power to trade with. You get 14K in buying power. There's also no PDT rules, so you can day trade as much as you want. It comes with a trading course, access to a trading chat room, and like I said, commissions are pretty cheap if you use small sizing. And so if you want to check that out, great way to help support the channel. I'll post that link here as well. And you can go check them out. All right, so yeah, there's like I said, guys. Remember, I said this thing has to break 1750 and hold that level of support. If it doesn't, it may get rejected and come back down at the low of this range. And so, I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. And again, these moves get faked out a ton here. These moves fake you out a ton. And so you really, one of my favorite ways to really approach these, and I may have, if it would have set up well enough, I may have attacked it like that. But if it would have broken the 750 level and then held this area here as support, then I might have considered it. But since it never actually broke and it also never held that level of support, I just couldn't take it. But I was getting ready to if it did do that. Also looking at CGC, I don't mind 38.80 as my risk, 38.80 or 38.83 specifically as my risk for CGC. That's a 23-cent risk, and then a 60 down to 17, so a 44 cent reward. Not too bad. No, you can, yeah, it's only once per month. You get to withdraw once per month, I believe. Best to ask them, though, but I'll be testing a withdrawal soon. Got my account decent in the profits, but still got a little bit more to go. But yeah, it's only once per month, I believe. And so you just need to be selective about it. That's the only thing I think is you got to be selective about it. Do I ever short the SPY? Not really. I short, sometimes I'll pairs trade like UVXY, TVIX with the SPY, but not very often. Yeah, and I know two-way, one of our one of the guys that hangs out in the Discord is the way he likes to approach these with SOLY is he actually likes to start scaling into them down here. You know, that way if it does reverse and come back down, he has a little bit better average, and so it's not the end of the world for him. But if it does squeeze up, like I said, he has a really good average, and so he can kind of approach it in a safe way. Let's clear these studies. But yeah, AMD, look at that thing move, man. That thing would have faked me out too, so I'm glad I didn't trade that subsequent bounce. I think I would have been frustrated with that one. I'm looking at CGC here, though. All right, so yeah, so maybe going to take CGC if we can get up to 58. Maybe take like a 5-cent risk or a 50 share position, something small just to get my feet wet. Like I said, I don't mind this 82, 83, 83 level right here. That's my risk. And then, you know, my reward level can be down here. But it's got to get up here first. So not too bad. Almost 2-to-1. Just about 2-to-1. CEI has been bouncing off the VWAP over and over and over again. All right, so yeah, so like I said, I'm already up decent on my first trade of the day. Let's see, my account before commissions is up to 312, so I'm probably up a decent amount on the day. I'm just trying to take it slow right now and just wait for good setups. If I'm going to trade again and risk some of my gains on the day, then I need to wait for good solid setups. I can't just force trades and just jump in anything that looks good. I have to actually wait for more solid setups to present themselves before I really start taking any more positions. And that's kind of one of the things, especially when the market's like this, when it's a really dull, kind of choppy market. What's the SPY doing? Then you just need to be selective. The SPY is looking okay, but at the last 20, 30 minutes for the SPY, it's been really dull and choppy sideways. And so when the market's like that, you just got to protect yourself. CEI is breaking highs here. So CEI is up to 3. If you like these penny plays, CEI breaking highs. It looks like a reverse split, a drop yesterday, and then a nice gap up and run this morning for CEI. So it's up to 365s now. Breaking highs here. Had a nice little VWAP bounce there as well for it. And so we'll see what happens with that one. Roku ended up fading. So Roku did end up fading earlier. And Soli is still kind of in the middle of that range. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, Ymir, I mean, I don't think the once per month is like a big deal at all. I don't think you have to think about it like this, right? Like most prop firms are going to have rules like that where you can only withdraw a certain amount. They're not going to just let you do unlimited withdrawals. Most prop firms are going to have rules like that where you can only withdraw a certain amount. And so I don't think that's a big deal at all, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased though. I don't know. But yeah, if anybody wants to see my full walkthrough and breakdown of TEFs and TradeNet, where I break down the pros and cons, there are some cons that you do want to understand specifically about them. One of them is most penny stocks are not tradable, so you're not going to be able to trade a large majority of penny stocks. That's the biggest pet peeve kind of flaw, in my opinion, of TEFs and TradeNet, is that you're not going to be able to trade most penny stocks. So if you want to trade penny stocks, you may want to get a different platform. But if you're looking to trade mid and high cap stocks, most of those are tradable. And, a lot of HTB stocks, hard to borrow stocks, you can short a lot of IPOs on IPO day. And so there's a lot of benefits in that regard to using them. But they're not for everybody. Just do your research. Like I said, I have a breakdown if you want to see their pros and cons. I'll post that link here as well. TGT fade. Let me see. No, TGT is not really a fade. It's above the VWAP, at least on my end. It's above the VWAP. A fade is typically like, let me find a fade today. Roku, maybe, I guess. If you look at Roku here, so a fade is when you see a stock drop originally, and then you see it pull back to the VWAP. That's where you're entering. So you're entering it right here on this pullback. You're entering it right there on this pullback short. So you're jumping in short right there. And then your goal is to write it down to that low of the day. Take profits there first, so like right there. And then maybe hold on to a little bit after this. You see the low of the day break here. Maybe hold on a little bit and try to get the rest down here. That's a fade. And then if it bounces back, kind of like Roku's doing, you can add back to it. That's all subjective and dependent on the trader. But that's kind of a fade. You just look for a pullback to the VWAP. You jump in short. A lot of times you're setting the low of the day as your reward target. With a lot of times you're also using that opening range as your risk. The bottom of that opening range, like for instance here, you could probably use this level here as your risk. Give it a really tight risk level. Big reward level is kind of what... kind of the way I approach it. Excuse me. And I think Mitch and I are probably, we talk about this, we're the ones that teach this strategy the most out of everybody in the trading world. And at least that's how we approach it. Mitch and I actually trade it a little bit differently. We don't trade it the same. But that's how I specifically approach it. That's just kind of my style with it. And it works. Like you can see, I mean, I'm pretty consistent, all things considered. Nice, uncle. Nice, brother. Nice work, man. Yeah, no worries, brother. Thanks for joining the stream, man. All right, guys. So yeah, we did get a pullback on Roku. Yeah. Yeah, he said waiting on the market is like watching paint dry. Yeah, 100%, man. And sometimes that's why I like, yeah, when I'm waiting on stuff, I'll pull my phone out. I'll just kind of hang out because the more I stare at charts, the more I want to jump in trades. And sometimes that's not the best. Sometimes that's not the right move. Sometimes it's better to just kind of take your time up doing something else. Like I said, I'm still kind of watching CGC here. Kind of watching CGC. 38.50s doesn't look too bad. Not looking too bad there, but I'm starting to like this 70 risk a little bit better since this dropped so much from that previous risk. And like I said, a lot of times I'll use this opening range as my risk. So like if I extend this to the left, you see it's the bottom of that opening range was that first risk I gave myself. At this point, the VWAP's dropped so much that I don't like it as much. It's still not bad risk reward, but I think I like this 70 level a little bit better for like a 15-cent risk. So we'll see. We'll see if I decide to take another one. The SPY is looking pretty strong, though. The SPY's at the high of the day. Nice, Netron. Hey, killing it, man. Nice work, bro. All right, so yeah, so CGC is now it's now up to it's up to 45s. Ideally, like I said, I would want to see it up to 55 before I considered it, and like I said, I kind of want to use this level here as my risk, 70. So my risk would be like 15 cents, maybe 20 cents. But yeah, guys, I gotta take some bigger sizing here. Even I mean, I'm happy. I'm slowly. It's been multiple months where I've been kind of scaling up my sizing a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just consistent enough to start putting in some solid gains, and I'd really like to get to that level. I think I've not mastered necessarily the strategies I use, but I've gotten really comfortable with them enough to make some solid gains in the market. And so I think it's really time. Tomorrow I might kind of try to make the leap. I've been kind of building up the profit in this account. Up to about $300 in profit in it, but I'd really like to get up to over 1,000. And I think to do that, I just have to take a little bit larger swings. I think it makes the most sense to do so. While we do have a second, though, here, guys, make sure you join our public Discord channel. Our goal for this is to turn it into a free day trading chat room. We almost have 500 people there. Help us break 500 and join our public Discord channel. I'll post this link here as well. Like I said, Mitch and I just try to give everybody, we try to give people stuff for free. And that's our goal with this, is just to, that's our goal with this. Losing my voice. That's my goal with this, is to create a free day trading chat. And so there's the link if you want to join it. There's the link in the chat. Go check that out. Join our public Discord. Help support us. Also, shout out to Trade Ideas, best scanners in the game by far. Like I said, I think there's a reason most traders and big time traders use Trade Ideas, because they're really the best scanners in the game by far. They allow you to do the most different things. They're probably the at least in my opinion, the most customizable. And so go check them out. And I'll post that link here as well. Yeah, Squares, sure, Ymir. Yeah, email me, bro. It's beginnertrading@gmail.com. If anybody wants to email me, there's my email. Just give me some time. I get a lot of emails. I got a lot of people. Look, there goes CGC breaking down. Just didn't quite get up to my level. Got up to 38.50 to the whole dollar, but never quite got up there. If I got a job, if the job came up, would you work on the... Yes, absolutely. That'd be fun. Just to say I did. I don't know if I would stay there. I've got kids and a family, man, and so I wouldn't want to move to New York. The pay would have to be really good, but maybe for a short period of time I would, for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what we get right now. What's up, Scott? What's up, brother? But yeah, look at that breakdown on CGC. I was kind of watching it. Never quite got up there. And honestly, like I said, if I'm going to trade again today, it's going to need to be a really good setup. It's going to need to be a nice setup. What did Soli ever end up doing? And so it has to be right on my risk reward levels. Yeah, there we go. See, Soli back down to the bottom of the range. And like I said, guys, one of the biggest things I said when I was watching Soli is that I think it needs to break 1750 and then hold that level as support. And look where it goes. It goes right up to 1750. And then I said if it does it, it may get rejected and come back down to the low of that range, which is exactly where it's at now. So kind of shows whenever I'm trading momentum plays, a lot of the time I want to see it hold support. A lot of the time I want to see it hold those levels as support for confirmation first. Somebody asked me earlier, how do you not get faked out? Like, what can you do to avoid getting faked out in the market? And one of the things you can do to avoid that is just to wait for confirmation in those moves. You want to see support confirmation. You want to see resistance confirmation if you're shorting. And so you want to wait for solid, self-evident confirmation in those moves. That way, at least you have something to base it off of. And so if not, you're going to get faked out a ton. And you see that with Soli. If you don't wait for confirmation, you're going to get faked out a ton. And, it's one of the most important things in trading, in my opinion, is looking for confirmation with technical analysis and support and resistance. Yeah, CEI, man. CEI is just ripping here. I see it on my other chart. This thing is just a monster right now, guys. CEI is just absolutely ripping up here. It's up to 490s. Went as high as 499. And if you're a new trader, it kind of shows you how important these half and whole dollar levels are. They're just super important. These half and whole dollar levels, they're just big psychological levels. Even Soli, going back to the Soli thing I just talked about, a big, level is this half dollar, 1750. This big level is $5, the whole dollar of 5. And so, half and whole dollars are really, really important for technical analysis and, support and resistance trading. CGC is right back up there. And this is why you take profits at the low of the day. Is because a lot of the time it's going to bounce like this at the low of the day. I don't like it as much now because if I got in now, under 38.50 is okay. But if I got in over 38.50 short, then I'm getting in when it's putting in a higher high, and that's never a good thing if you're going short. All right, CEI, look at that pullback. Really interesting level to see if CEI pulls back to 350 right here and then holds that level of support and then bounces, or what happens with CEI. But really interesting there as well. SGMO did fade there as well too. All right, guys, we got Mitch here. Mitch is going to be joining us today. Let's get Mitch rolling. What's up, brother? Chilling, man. Let me see. Make sure. All right, guys, we got Mitch here.
What's up, guys? What's up?
There we go. So, yeah, I'm probably done for the day, man. So I could throw you up if you think you're going to trade.
You're done?
I'm done, man. I got a just under $50 gain. One trade. Not really seeing too much else I really like, so I'm probably just going to hang it up, man. Slow midsummer day, brother. So,
Hey, another day.
we got Roku pulling back to the VWAP.
That CGC.
Yeah, man.
Sucks I wasn't here.
Yeah. I called that one out, really. I was watching that one, but barely missed it. I traded AMD today with the bounce play on AMD.
JD crashing there.
Maxar. SQ might finally pull back to the VWAP.
Yeah, I already missed Maxstar. That's a good VWAP fade. But I already missed that one.
Yeah, SQ. We'll see if SQ can pull back to the VWAP some. SPY's been bullish today.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Ooh, look at Roku. Roku's right at the VWAP here. I really don't mind Roku here as well. Roku doesn't look that bad. It's up to 60, 101.60 roughly. You could set a risk of like 16. And so your risk is 56 cents. Your reward level can be 80 cents. No, your reward level would be 60 cents. So $1 reward level. Almost 2 to 1. Close enough, I would say, where you could take it. I think a little bit too late now for it, but almost 2 to 1 for a Roku short position, for a VWAP fade short play for Roku. SGMO was another one I was looking at that faded. Look at this fade on SGMO. Solid fade right here. AAOI. CEI still looking crazy strong. Alright, so there goes Roku back up to that 101.60 level. Like I said, I really don't mind it here. I think you could use that previous fade as your risk up here at 102.20 maybe. And I think it looks solid there. Like I said, though, your risk is from 60 up to $1.20. So 60 cent, 50, 60 cent risk for $1 reward. So it's close to 2 to 1. Yeah, I can't trade that one. It's not tradable for me. All right, there's Roku back up to 101.80. Like I said, I mean, for this one specifically, CEI might pull back to the VWAP. Again, I mean, whenever I call these out, I never say they're going to work. Really, it's a little bit late for me to want to take a trade anyway, so I'm just kind of calling out setups I see that I might look at if I didn't have any other trade today. But again, right now you still have about 40 cents of risk. And again, this is basically the trade I'm talking about. It might be a little bit better risk reward now. So if you got in at 101.80, your risk is about 40 cents. Your reward is like $1.20. So it's like 3 to 1 at this point. A little bit worse accuracy. So basically the chances of it working are a little bit worse. You can also use 35 right there as your risk, which may actually be a little bit solid, a little bit more solid. Because again, what do I always say? That low of the opening range can be your risk a lot of the time. It should be right there. Squeeze up, I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling it right now, but that's kind of what I would look for. My original risk that I was thinking about would be 102.15, which is right where it went to. So it did give you some confirmation, but like I said, I'm not taking it. CGC coming back down, staying in that range. But yeah, let's see if that 102.35 level holds. I mean, we got a little rejection there at that previous risk level I gave myself, so it looks a little bit better. Solid risk reward at this point, but I mean, I traded long today, so no. My only trade today was a long trade. So no, I'm not. I mean, for Roku, that's what I was looking at as short. But again, like I said, I don't like it as much now. The accuracy would go down a little bit. Not bad risk reward, but 35 would have been my risk if I would have taken that one. But again, I mean, there's a reason that I don't. There's a reason I try not to trade this late, is because at this point you get a lot of squeezes in either direction. Yeah, man, AMD. Like I said, AMD is one of the ones. It's the trade I took this morning that was long. Really nice VWAP bounce for that first one. This first VWAP bounce here is the one I attacked right here. Second one was a little bit sketchier, but it faked a lot of people out on the short side, I'm sure. See, I think these two resistance levels are big levels to watch for Roku. Look at CGC, though. CGC is coming all the way back down to that low of the range. If I say VWAP fade, it means short. If I say bounce or VWAP bounce, it means long. That's basically how I do it. I'll give you a little hint though. Most of the time I'm short. Most of the time I'm trading short. Very rarely will I trade longs. And when I do trade longs, like I said, it's mostly when the market gaps down. And I think we might get a subsequent bounce the next morning based off of extension and emotion. And so most of the time I'm short, but it just depends on what the market does. Yeah, no worries, Steve. Um, Fade equals rejection. Rejection means short. Fade means short as well, but they're a little bit different. So like a rejection. Let me see if I can find one. A rejection is when the stock is actually in like a very upward move, like a very bullish upward move, and then it breaks underneath the VWAP and ends up getting rejected and coming back down. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, I don't know if I can find one, but a rejection is a specific pattern. Go check out our website. Here I'll post our website link, and on our website we kind of break down what they all are and what I mean by all of these different ones. So here you go. So here's I'm gonna post our website link, and like I said, I mean I think that's the best place to go. We have a strategy section, we have classes, and yeah, in that basically we break down what we mean by any of them. So go check out our website. We got a lot of free, solid content. We have broker reviews, strategy section. We have our free trading course. We have our free trading course there, so go check them out. But yeah, we got a lot of good, solid, free content there. Yeah, Roku would have stopped me out. Glad I didn't take it. CGC would have worked for me, though. I should have taken that first move. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Just looking around, man. Just
You
looking
sleepy?
around.
Mitch just pulled a overnight shift at work.
Yeah, I've
Right?
been trading since yesterday.
Man, I don't know. I couldn't do that, man. One thing that I'm very specific about is sleep. Like I need
Oh,
my
look
sleep,
at
man.
that right there. I was trying to jump right now.
Which one?
I was gonna
Oh.
jump in urban right there. It just literally just flushed out through my number right there. I was literally going like this, hit a zero to hit the short at 24.20, and that thing just tanked.
Yeah, man. Look at
Uh,
CEI today. Remember CEI? Look at that thing today,
uh,
man. It's not tradable, but
nice little tank there. Just late. This is what happens usually when I'm late. There's always like these perfect VWAP fades, and now I'm just like, oh yeah, that was perfect.
yeah. I mean, I think there's always a few of them. I think there's always a few fades during the day.
Uh,
Snap about to move. Soli is flat. Yeah, Soli. I was watching it this morning. I had a lot of potential, hope for it. But I mean, honestly, if Soli can get up to the VWAP, which it's kind of doing right now, Soli's right at 35. If you can get up to 60s or 70s, it might be a nice little VWAP, fade, maybe a little fade action there for it. That look bad. Look at CGC. Look at that one. That subsequent fade just now, just flushing, breaking the low of the day here.
yeah, I don't like that last one just because it's the fourth touch.
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah,
don't
the
trust the
last.
fourth touch, but I mean, hey, it just kept fulfilling.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna touch that second fade right there. That third fade. I guess it's the third fade of the day, just because it's something I mentioned earlier. It's too parallel with the other one. If it's completely parallel with the other one, a lot of the time it's gonna squeeze me out of that thing. And so, if it's too parallel, I just ignore it. Same thing. Same reason I didn't take AMD for the second fade today was because it was just too parallel with the first one. And I need to see at least some follow through action. Like if it bounces, I want to see the VWAP move up and then it bounce again. I don't want to see the VWAP stay in the same place and then it pull back to the exact same spot because then it's too parallel, if that makes sense. Same thing with this fade on CGC. It's just too parallel. I want to see the VWAP move down a little bit and then it fade again to kind of show you the overall downward trend progressing. Yeah, somebody asked me about a rejection. So if you look at YNDX here, it hasn't rejected yet, but a rejection is like this. You get an upward move, a pullback under the VWAP, and then a pullback to the VWAP, and then you enter in short at the VWAP level. which would be right here. And then you're looking to short it and take profits on this type of move down. That's a rejection. SGMO wasn't bad either for that last fade there too. Roku ended up squeezing me up, but luckily I didn't take it. SQ, I mean, if SQ can pull back to the VWAP, it doesn't look bad. AMRH, if you like penny stocks, AMRH is at roughly 42 cents. For AMRH, it doesn't look terrible. CDNA2. What did Tesla end up doing today? Tesla's breaking down. I mean, if Tesla... Honestly, it looked like a symmetrical triangle for Tesla there. No. So a rejection is... yeah, I mean, a rejection is just a quick, what I consider a rejection is just an upward bullish move, pull back underneath the VWAP, pull back to the VWAP, rejected back down. Like, that's a rejection. Let me see if I can find a better one. That's what I consider a rejection. Let me see. CGC might have some more. I think I saw some on CGC the other day. And then a fade is when, a fade is like CGC today, when it's already in a downward move. A fade is like CGC today, where it's already dropping down. Then you get a pullback to the VWAP, and then it just follows through with the move. It's just a continuation after it pulls back up to the VWAP, and then it fades back down. The word fade just means basically just means a quick reversal back down, right? Like, that's what fade means. Fade means that it's going up, and then it ends up coming back down. So a VWAP fade is when it's in a downward trend, it pulls up to the VWAP, and then it fades back down. And then a rejection is when it's already up, it's in a bullish or upward trend, and then it quickly breaks underneath the VWAP and then gets rejected back down. But, I mean, I don't think the names really matter. I mean, I think Mitch and I have kind of, not necessarily, we didn't invent the VWAP fade. I think Mitch and I have probably done the most thorough analysis of that strategy and pattern, and kind of, we've definitely built on the strategy for sure. So it doesn't matter really what they're called. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm talking about when I say these different phrases and words, just so you can kind of understand what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for specifically. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, here, let me go to the website and you can kind of see what we mean by it. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, here, if you look at our website here, let me break this down here. So this is our strategy section on our website. All right, let me pull this over a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So this is our strategy section on our website, right? And this is a fade. So you get a downward move. You see this downward move. You get a pullback to the VWAP area. This is where you short it. This is actually an error. It's using the previous low as risk. So this area here, maybe this level here. But anyways, regardless, you get a pullback down. You get a downward move at the open, a pullback to the VWAP. You jump in short here, and then you ride it down to the low of the day. That's a fade. And then, you could write it down in the next support level after that. That's a fade. That's a VWAP fade. That's what we consider a VWAP fade. And then a rejection is a little bit different. A rejection is an upward move like this. You get an upward move, a quick drop underneath the VWAP area, a pullback. This is where you jump in short, and then a rejection back down. And then you can cover at support levels as well, just like the fade. And so basically the big difference between a fade and a rejection is that a fade is already in a downward trend at the open. It drops at the open, to where a rejection is when the stock, excuse me, a rejection, as you can see here, is when a stock is actually moving up and then quickly kind of reverses underneath the VWAP, and then that resistance level rejects it back down. And so that's the big difference, at least in my opinion. Most of the time, what you see me trading is fades. Like, I like fades way more than rejections. They're also much more reliable, although rejections can give you a little bit better organic risk reward. Rejections can give you a little bit better organic risk reward. Yeah, Tesla. I'm not loving Tesla.
Looking around, not really seeing anything, so taking it easy.
Yeah, I might close it down for the day, brother. I know you're probably gonna go to bed afterwards. So if you do get in a trade, maybe send me the video, and like I'll include it in my video as well.
No stress.
If you want to do that, it's up to you though. CGC's back to the VWAP, yeah, or climbing back there. Doesn't look that bad. But yeah, guys, I'm probably gonna go ahead and close it down for the day. If Mitch isn't gonna get into anything else, I'm probably done as well. So go check out Trade Ideas. Best scanners in the game by far. Shout out to them. Really cool company. Actually allow me to stream these scanners every day. So there's the link for Trade Ideas. Go check them out. Like I said, best scanners in the game by far. Is CGC a rejection? No. Because CGC... All right, so I can break this down really quick. So CGC is a fade, and the reason it's a fade is because it's been in a downward trend all day. If you look at CGC here on the bottom chart, it's been underneath the VWAP almost all day. Of course, it's had little bounces above it for split seconds, but it's maintained below the VWAP all day, and so it's stayed in a downward trend. And so any bounces we get back to the VWAP, it's going to be a fade because it stayed in this downward trend all day. Now, if it was above the VWAP, in an upward trend, and then it broke underneath the VWAP and then rejected off of it, that would be a rejection. But since it's maintained this downward trend underneath the VWAP, then it is a fade. Yeah, no worries, James. Yeah, so like I said, go check out Trade Ideas. If you want to help support the channel, you can go check out TradeNet as well. Honestly, like I said, for less than $400, for $3.99 through my link, you get 14,000 in buying power to trade with. There's no PDT rule, so you can day trade as much as you want without being restricted by the PDT rule. And commissions are also super cheap if you use small sizing. You know, I can buy 1, 2, 300 shares on TradeNet in TEFs, and my commission is less than $5 for a round trip. And it just makes sense because that gives new traders the ability to trade small, buy 50 shares, and still make profit if they buy 50 shares. And so I think it makes a ton of sense. It also comes with a trading course and access to a trading chat room, like I said, for less than $400. And I think that bundle really allows traders to get their feet wet without risking a ton. I wish I knew about it when I first got started trading because, you know, I think most new traders end up depositing $1 or $2 or $3,000 into SureTrade or somewhere, and they most of the time end up losing that money, and so they're down a few $1,000s. Where the only thing you're risking with the TradeNet package is what you pay for the package, and so for the intro package, it's less than $400. So it just makes sense. There is a profit split of 70-30, and they operate very similar to a prop firm, and so you do have to split any profit you make, but it's only taken out of your actual profit. And so, like I said, I think it makes a ton of sense, and it's a really good bundle for new traders to take advantage of. And so if you want to check that out, I'll post the link. Like I said, great way to help support the channel. There's the link if you want to check that out. How long do you estimate to receive the 14,000 in buying power? Honestly, it all depends. I think you have to get approved for it, but I'm pretty sure they approve most people. For some, they might make you go through the course. So it just depends on how long it takes to finish the course to get the funded account. But yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't take long. But I think it's all dependent. You might want to ask them about that. Not 100% sure. I think it depends. It varies on the paper trading results and how fast they finish the course and stuff like that. But yeah, there's the link if you want to go check that out. If you want a full breakdown of TradeNet with their pros and cons, I'll post this link here as well. I'll post that link here as well. We also have a review of them in our broker review section. Like I said, one of the ways we keep the live stream always free. And so if you want to help support the channel, go to check out those links. And yeah, go check out our website as well. We got a lot of free content on our website to take advantage of. A bunch of free content. Mitch and I do everything for free. And we put everything out there for free. And so that's kind of our goal. I'll try to have a video out today as well. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. You want to say anything else, brother?
No, that'll be it, man. Just gonna figure out if I can make a trade or not. But if not, hey, it'll be another day.
Yeah, don't stress it, brother. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you all tomorrow.